Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Huh? What? I can't hear you. Speak up. Just so you know, that's a sign that says keep off the grass. Hey, what's up, Souls? How you doing today, buddy? So look, I got a little life hack. Sign says keep off the grass. They need a bigger sign. I go on the rocks. All right. Legally, I can do that by law. Solus, bringing you to the witch house, 1642, historic Salem. This actually wasn't the house of any witches, though. Just so everybody knows, it's all propaganda, baby. They're just trying to get you. They're just trying to get you to buy a ticket and enjoy the ride, huh? 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 Buy a ticket. Hey, what's up, CJ? How are you? Whoa, I'm a little too close. Look at that. Hey, they turned the old surplus store, the antique shop we used to love to go to, into a corporate t-shirt, or not a corporate, but some junk t-shirt place. So I wouldn't shop there. I didn't. Don't do it. Don't do it. Save yourself the headaches. I believe buying corporate cotton causes headaches. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure the science will prove me correctly one day. And all the tourists are already here. I had to do some errands today, which unfortunately, when you live in what I believe they call it the tourist Mecca. Tourist Mecca. And when you live in tourist Mecca, you have to plan, like I told the guy at my appointment. I said, I have to start planning to leave a half hour earlier to go 1 mile down the road. So I figured while I was stuck down here, because traffic to get home is going to be a bear. I believe they call it a bear. I figured I'd just show you guys the witch house. I'll save you the $500 airline ticket, the $10 ticket to get in. And there it is. Not an actual house of a witch. And then I'll show you the Salem Inn. Where is it? Right there. You can stay there if you like. I think that was I forget what it's called. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You guys complaining. I'm putting you on the silent walk and talk. I like that though. But yeah, so what I was saying was this was Judge Jonathan Corwin's house. The old witch house where no witch resided here. No witch. I like how they built houses back in the day. Look at that. You don't have enough of those gables, as they call them. You don't have enough gables. So yeah, consider. I should charge. I should start charging to do virtual tours. Because if you see, hold on. Let's see. When you're walking around down here, you'll see a group of people, like 40 people following one person. And they do like tours, you know, in town. And I'm sure you could make bank, but you got to get a license to be doing it or get hired by a company, which I've thought about doing a bunch of times. But maybe I should just run a virtual tour. I don't know if the people inside would let me, but what I was saying is this was the house of Jonathan Corwin, who was not a witch. I don't know why we know why they call it a witch house. Marketing. You wouldn't come here if it said Judge Jonathan Corwin's house, who served as a judge but was not an officer of the law. He was served as a judge because of his religion and then persecuted his neighbors, all in the name of Christ. You know, they wouldn't come if that was the sign. Well, maybe they would. I would. I like the history. Oh, Cass Pensick. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Much love, much respect. That's cool. I can't read that. I will go yeah, so look, that's what I was saying. The Army surplus store. Well, it wasn't an Army surplus store. It was an antique secondhand shop. It was cool. I used to go in there and ask them, you guys get any haunted items yet? Anything haunted yet? The Salem Inn. I think that was the house that was the sheriff's house. I think that place is haunted. And then there's the beautiful witch house. It is. It's a beautiful house from 1642. And when you go inside, you could tell. You know, you're like, where's the central AC in this mother? And they go, 1642, buddy. And I go, oh, sorry. Where's the air conditioning unit? But all the homes around here. I've done this quite a few times. I take you guys around. I show you. This was built for Mary Lindahl, 1755. All right. If you're looking for Mary, she don't live here anymore, so don't come a knocking. And then, oh, I love the church. Hold on. Let me show you this place. Amen. I want to visit a real haunted house, like one of the real houses from the Conjuring movies. The Conjuring house, I think, is down in Connecticut. Me and a friend were trying to plan to go down, because you could, I don't know if you can still, but a while ago. Look, I love this church. I love this church. Awesome. This church rocks. I don't go here, but look at this. The Church Covenant, 1629. 1929. It's an amazing church. This was the flag that we used to hang at my house. Love that flag. The only thing I hate is there is no trespassing at a church. That's God's house. God, that's my dad. So I should be able to go in there whenever I want. Or at least that's how it was in the 90s. Sanctuary. They were sanctuaries. That's what churches were. You can't see the sign. Hold on. Let me show you. There's the sign. Radical church. Absolutely amazing. And how many churches do you go to that looks like a castle, huh? Let's be honest. Look at this. Look at this. Amen. 4 milking doves, 4 French braids, 2 turtle doves, and amen. Sorry, you always have to sing that song when you get on church grounds, just so you know, by law. By law, they require one amen. You guys see that hat? See that hat? Every woman in this town is wearing that hat right now. I'm not kidding. I was down here earlier. Oh yeah, what's up, Timothy? Good to see you. Hit like, subscribe, and share it. Share your subscriptions. Everybody. I'll show you some of the mansions. Welcome to the virtual walking tour, the free walking tour. Feel free to donate. Cass, thank you very much. Cass Pensick. We're gonna show Cass the Ropes Mansion. You guys want to go to the God, that sun is so bright today. Hallelujah. The Ropes Mansion. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Sorry guys, I'm trying to block the sun so you can see. And then look at what a beautiful avenue, huh? A young couple owns the Conjuring House, so I guess if you're friends with them. Is it a young couple? I know CJ, at one point they were renting out the house for a night. You could go and stay for a night. And Dan, are you saying the famous all black house? Well, there's a few all black houses here. I'll actually walk you back over there. Dan's arriving late to the unofficial virtual tour. And before my parking meter runs up, I got a little more time with you, so. I thought that one old lady owned the Conjuring House. Joshua, don't worry, looks like you're Vermont. Yeah, that's true. If you go to like a downtown in Vermont, it is very downtown Vermont. Ooh, here, hold on. This is what they do for the kids on the field trip around here. See the open window ferry? That's what they take the kids on for a field trip. Isn't that funny? But here you go, Josh. Oh, who said the all black house? Dan, are you talking about this? The quote unquote witch house, Judge Jonathan Corwin's house. He wasn't a witch, he was a judge. Yep, that's it. That's it, my friend. But there's a few all black houses here. Coming, I'll be right there. Just wait, Mom. So yeah, that is the witch house. And it's absolutely beautiful inside. If you do come to Salem, go inside. You see those windows? It's amazing to me that they knew how, like, they were like, you know what, we're gonna make this thing called glass. Tell them I'll see you at home. Don't honk. Joshua, I let him know. I said, I'm coming. I'll meet you at home. I don't need a ride, Ma. Yeah, Dan, come. I'll tell you what, don't come in September or October because billions of people comes here. That house was just for sale. I think 1.9 mil. If you got the dough. Cool location. You're right near the shops. But okay, I'm gonna take you guys down to the Ropes Mansion Garden, and then I'll show you the church one last time. Whoop, whoop. Look at that tree. What do you think's older, the church or the tree? Church or the tree? I don't know. I'm asking you. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. What's up, cowboy? Salem, how are you, New England? All right, let me show you this garden real quick. The little garden. Oh, God. Wah, wah, wah. Honk, honk. Oh, hold on. The garden already started. Look at how gorgeous. Those are Kilcornies, named after the famous Irish woman warrior, Bethel Kilcorny. And I believe if you eat 4 of them, you get diarrhea. So don't quote me. I'm not an astrological, what is it called? Herbologist. I'm not an herbologist, but I'll give you the best I know about plants. This is a very dangerous ivy. That's why they put it on the gateway. And voila. I believe this is what inspired Bruce Springsteen to write the song Secret Garden. He came back here one day and he said, I have a perfect song for this area. I will call it the Secret Garden. And Bruce Springsteen sat right there in that chair writing the Secret Garden. Let's see if there's any animals. Oh, koi fish. What's up, little guys? Come here, boy. No, we're not gonna come. Bad fish. Go lay down. But yeah. You only got like, ooh, look at the thorns on that. Holy hot briar. That's what they call a hot briar. This is called the autumn grimace. That's an autumn grimace. What else do we have here? Solace. Yes, they caught the shooter. And guess what? Guess what? They caught... Oh, hold on. Oh, can I show you guys something that was at the comic book store? That I thought was so cool. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that wicked cool? So they got the shooter and somebody else, Trump, in an interview. They were like, my condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. How are you holding up? He goes, I think very good. And by the way, you see the trucks? They just started construction on the new ballroom for the White House. He doesn't give a fuck. Well, you know, when you're advocating for that stuff and that stuff, when you're advocating for what happened to you, you know, don't be surprised when this guy's like, they're like, my condolences, how are you holding up? And I tweeted earlier, I think I shared it in a community post. I said, you know how when you're grieving after you lose someone that you care about, in the second day after they're gone, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna really get to work on that new ballroom. Absolutely rubbish human being. Hold on, back to the garden tour, folks. All right, I believe those are some lazy-eyed Samanthas right there. They're unique because they only bloom during full moons. These are some the traveling thornberries. That's what those are called, I believe. Here we have Janine Garofalo's hat from the 1990s. I know it's a long name, but it's a unique flower, so that's why they named it that. What are these called? I forget what these are. Oh, these are called Please Don't Eat Me. I know I look like lettuce. That's what that's called. Gorgeous little area. How old do you think that tree is? If you said 6 years old, you're wrong. Oh, what are these? What are those? I believe those are Picachos. I believe those are Picadonts. Picadont. Ooh, I like how that looks. Look at that. You go and be a lone red flower right there. I like that. Be different. Tree 200 years old. Thistle balls. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you. Those are the old thistle balls. Also a nickname of the president. Here we go. Do you know what those are called? I'm not sure, but you know, an interesting variety of. Oh, look! Get that pollen, buddy. Get it. Look at that. Be more productive than Elon Musk. Look at him. You get that, buddy. Gorgeous. Joshua Taft, you're funny. We don't always agree, but we are bros. Yeah, you know, that's the whole thing. We don't have to agree, but you're going to have to hear me say everyone deserves health care. No one should die from not being able to afford health care. We have these all over this area. I don't know if you have them in your neck of the woods, but they're great. And if I had more money, I would buy really nice books and I would Secret Santa them all. All right, we're leaving the garden that inspired Bruce Springsteen to write the song Streets of Philadelphia. Or what did I say earlier? The Secret Garden. I'm gonna be the best tour guide. I'm gonna be the best tour guide ever, folks. Ever. All right, I got a few more minutes with you. Appearing and disappearing pinkies. And the fact that Don the Con kept on task. Oh, I'm Droopy Snoopies, Cass. Those flowers are called Droopy Snoopies. And they make you hallucinate if you eat them. There is the Ropes Mansion. That's a cool house right there. Though I don't know if it's a house or not. Some of these are not houses. Some of them are. Some of them are inns. That's a house. That's a cool ass school bus. I feel like I'm walking through what's his name? John Cougar Mellencamp song right now. Little white houses, little pink houses everywhere. That's a home. Split duplex. They cut them all up, so you know they could fit as many. Well, not this one. Here we go. Not this one. Let's see. When was that built? William Pickman, 1823. What was he? He was a merchant. They tell you what he did too. Ooh, wait. That's a cool one. Let's see what. Anybody read that? 1795. What were they? I don't know. Maybe we'll cross the street. Maybe we'll cross the street. There's a library. I know if you're a Republican, that thing. Wait. No. Sorry. The Salem Library is up here. That's, I don't know what that is. That's a museum. What does it say? Anthium? The library's right up the street. Sorry. Look at how cool that is. Little side door in your house. You don't even get a front door. They're really thinking outside the front door on this one. Oh no, they got a front door too. I love those bay windows. Those are always so cool. Yeah, library right up there. I'm kind of getting into the town part though, so that's not going to be interesting to anybody. Not going to be interesting to anybody. I agree with most all. I was a debater and I had to chill. It was killing me. Yes, I love little free libraries. Yes, Cass, I love them too. Are you no longer a gardener? CJ, since we moved, we don't really have the space to garden, so sadly, I have my raspberry and my blueberry bush, but I just don't have the space or money. It takes money to garden, unfortunately. Love to watch your videos. Rosie Rose, thank you. Sadly, I had to step back in 40 now. I was killing my smiles. Love the channel. Thank you. I'm gonna cross the street in a minute. But I was down here. I had to do some shopping, some B-Day shopping for one of my daughters and get some cool stuff. I got her such rad stuff. Me and my wife got her such rad stuff. Hold on, I'm gonna put on mute. I don't want to get copyright because this guy's listening to music. All right, sorry guys, I had to mute it. The dude behind me was like playing Nickelback or something. I don't know. I got a few more minutes. Soulless. I really didn't like Charlie, and I disagreed with some of his opinions, but it disgusts me how some people are basically dancing on his grave and celebrating his death. You know, I'm gonna talk about it all at some point, but the thing is he was. I hate that people are calling him a political activist. Trying to find the tweet. No. Oh, this was a funny tweet. Classic liberal, because you know how the Republicans were like, we got to go after the Marxists. It's like classic Marxist behavior to be raised by a Christian pro-gun family, registered as a Republican, spend a ton of time at conservatives, speaking events, and finally reveal you've been a double agent for Soros the whole time. But there was something else. Hold on, let me see if I can find in my photos that I want to show you. Because Solus, I understand people have that kind of sentiment, but wasn't this? Oh, I do think this. How do we know didn't order that as a distraction and a tactic to start the civil unrest? Interesting conspiracy. Put on your tinfoil hat. Here's some info about that. Oh, did you see this? CJ, you'll like this. MAGA, new MAGA meaning. Make America Gavin again. That is hilarious. No, not that. Oh, this is important. You know, Bin Laden didn't fly the planes. Manson didn't do anyone. Hitler didn't operate Trump didn't storm, but they were responsible. And I really find that, well, here's the other thing. This was one of the tweets. The political party who celebrated Paul Pelosi's assault ignored Melissa Horton's attempt or thing that happened, laughed at the attempt to kidnap Governor Whitmer, cheered on J6, violent coup. I want you to be ultra respectful about this. And the thing is this dude, hold on. Where is, sorry, I wasn't ready to talk about this because I usually have, well, here's one thing he said. Can't stand the word empathy. So here's like the weirdest, CJ, disagree, Solus. He treated 60% of America with disdain and disrespect. Worse than disdain and disrespect. Somebody, this guy, this writer that I really love. Here it is. Robert Cargill. So look, he says, everyone seems allergic to the word, but Charlie Kirk was not an activist. He was a propagandist. Turning Point was a meme factory backed by a billionaire designated to steer kids towards Christian nationalism. He didn't advocate for policy. He spun narratives to change beliefs. He's a propagandist. And it's disgusting that the media and people are treating him like he was anything but. He had no policy, he cared for no people. In fact, the other founding member of Turning Point died of when we had the pandemic of that, after even when they were pushing people to not wear masks. And Charlie, ironically enough, I mean, I don't know, this is like the severe definition of irony. Not only did he not want anyone to have empathy, where is the other stuff? Hold on. But he said the most heinous stuff. So this is like my ultimate thought on him is like, really, if you're a fan of his and you believe what he said, then why don't you put this shirt, when you're putting his face on a shirt, put his quote underneath it. You know, gun death's unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment. And then while you're at it, you know, the other propaganda he was pushing for was this. Children should watch those. That's not policy. He's not doing anything but trying to indoctrinate and propagandize more kids to think it's cool to rebel against, I don't know, what are you rebelling against? Republicans aren't rebelling against anything. They have all the power in the government right now. And to hear people like Joe Rogan be like, now it's cool to be a conservative. It's like, no, it's not. It never has been. And they're not the rebels now. You can be a rebel when you're like, we own the left and the right, you know? It's Republicans and diet Republicans light. And the people that are celebrating right now, I totally understand it. You know why? Because these people, you know, this guy who is friggin', you know, saying he was going to go after anybody that talked badly. Like, this is the stuff they tweet. The president said he wasn't going to talk to the Democratic people who were taken out in Minnesota. He wasn't going to call them. Like, they don't grieve for us. And what's funny, remember her? Hold on. Clay Higgins, this dude, is tweeting this stuff when that happened. And now he's, you know, yesterday, I'm going to use congressional authority, every influence of tech platforms, mandated ban for life for every commenter that belittled. And he's the one saying this stuff. So, but the funniest thing besides, you know, they were best friends and he's trying to distract from it, is this it? Yeah. This is the funniest thing. So these people think, you know, like what I was talking about when it happened the other day, I was like, what's his legacy? That what happened to him is exactly what he advocated for in his last words were gun violence, like literally race baiting, being a racist at the moment. And there's nothing you could say, like people even that night were getting mad at me. And I'm like, why are you getting mad at me? I'm literally telling you what he advocated for. What this dude advocated for. These are not my thoughts. If you followed my channel or know anything about me, I live in a state where we have gun control. I believe it's so insane that people are normalized to what happened to our school systems. Like, it's so insane that it's not worth it. My thoughts are the exact opposite. And if you think his thoughts are cool or rebellious, well, guess what? His thoughts are the norm right now. People have been normalized to believe that, and it's disgusting. But what's funny, and this is funny, is that he thought he was some warrior. You know how they call people social justice warriors? He thought he was some, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like status quo warrior. I guess that's the only thing, because this is the status quo. This dude thought he was some status quo warrior advocating to have things stay the way they are, you know, while what he advocated for literally happened to him. The gun deaths and the public thing. Oh, hold on, I gotta get away from the music. So he literally was an advocate for exactly what happened to him a couple days ago. Like literally, that's what he preached. That's what he went to colleges for. That was the last debate that he was having, his last words being gun violence as a distraction tactic to serious issues in our society. And these people, and then this guy spent $12 million of our money to give him like a military funeral, which is insane, you know, totally insane. People are normalized to this, but in Fort Hellels, don't talk about cars, you know, just shut up. Because nobody regulates guns like cars. Like, that's such a it's like you sound like Charlie Kirk. It's a fucking moron's argument, and I'm not going for it. But the thing is, he advocated for that, and he thought he was this, you know, it's like Joe Rogan. It reminds me of Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan thinks, because he had Trump on his podcast, like, he's a special boy. I'm friends with the president. And the truth is this. They used you, and they don't even care about you, because I've had a lot of close friends die, and I've had a lot of people die way too young, starting, you know, in my teens. And on day 2, I was never giving a fuck about some construction project. So this is how much these people care, you know, when you're asked about, you know, how are you holding up? And he's like, I'm good. You see all the trucks? They're starting construction on the ballroom for the White House. And if I was by my computer, I'd play the audio for you. I just screenshotted it. You know, there's the audio on this. Rogan's absolute fool. Thank you, April's flower. Oh, you just missed it. I was showing everybody flowers. And yeah, James, that's exactly what I'm saying. This fool who they've already forgotten, you know, who Trump was praying that it was going to be a big distraction. He literally advocated for what happened to him. Literally. Like, what happened to him is what he was arguing with people should happen in America. There's not a more ironic way to go. I'm screenshot tiny for research. Thank you. Clark Kent. Okay. Tyler Robinson is a Trump supporter who tried to start a civil war and blame it on trans people. Well, I don't know what nobody said what he's said yet, but he was definitely a Trump donator, supporter. You know, he's like, guys, the thing is the violence comes from the right. And it's funny when people are like, oh, the left wants violence. It's like the left wants people to have health care, paid time off, a minimum wage that's enough to buy a house on. I'm trying to think what else. You know, like, we advocate for life, a longer life. And literally this dude, Charlie, was advocating for what happened to him. And all these people on the right are, you know, if it wasn't so sad, it would be hilarious. That's why I invented Sad Hilarious. Because they're literally just foaming at the mouth to blame someone and call, like Tim Pool, years ago, he was calling for a civil war. And it's like, at this point, let all the red states just have their own country. I'm totally fine with that. We get all the coasts and we'll be one country, and they can have their own country, and they can have, corporate Palantir run their world, and they can have, no taxes on corporations and the dumbest people because their education isn't funded, and they can have, all the stuff that they want, and just let us blue states fucking fund education, tax billionaires, and let the billionaires go live in Arkansas and fucking Mississippi, and Oklahoma. Like, let the billionaires go live there, and exploit the workers. Like, I'm fine with that, but it doesn't need to be violent. It's like, Jesus, these fucking nerds who do podcasting all the time want to, cosplay. And again, that's why I showed you that tweet that I feel is so important. These people didn't do this themselves, but they absolutely were responsible, because, guys, let's face it, what you're advocating for, as much as I just like to joke around here, like, I just want to have some fun and make fun of stuff and joke. But at the end of the day, I have a message, and I have a legacy I'm trying to leave for kids with disabilities, for old people who, so they don't have to eat cat food or lose their home, do reverse mortgages because they're tricked by Clark Kent or whoever the fuck it is. William Shatner's tricking them to sell their home back to the government. I don't know. It's like the legacy should be like, you were pushing for better, Nobody well, some people do remember the hate-filled racists of long ago. But it's not like they're, well, I guess America does kind of put up those Civil War monuments. But it's just crazy. It's so crazy. I wasn't planning on talking about this, sorry. Fort Hellos. Well, I say tax billionaires and let them move away because my point is here in Massachusetts, we tax millionaires. And guess what? When they threatened to leave, none of them did. You know why? Because the coastal states, the blue elite states, are fucking awesome, dude. I hate to break it to you. You ever been to the ocean? Probably not. And it's awesome. And not to dog on anyone else, but what I'm saying is we tax millionaires, and the billionaire families here put out all this propaganda, said the billionaires are going to leave. And guess what? They didn't. And since 2022, our millionaire population has risen by 35%. We have 35% more millionaires by taxing them. So it just shows how stupid you are, fourth lulz. I'm talking about history, fact, proven, economics, whatever you want to call it, science, math, reading. Like, I'm just talking about what has happened in the past 3 years in Massachusetts. When we tax millionaires, they all threatened to leave. They're all going to leave. And they didn't. Our millionaire population almost grew by half, almost by 50%. It grew by 35%. And we tax them. So tax wealth, not work, 100%. 100%. I cannot wait to come to the Pacific Northwest, CJ. That's going to be my first YouTube get together. And it's only going to be a few of us. We're going to go gardening. All right, guys. I got a jet. I was just trying to talk until my meter ran up. Well, I wanted to show you the witch house. That's really, I wanted to show you the witch house right there. And somebody got to see it. Somebody who was here. If you ever come to Vermont. Oh, Josh, yeah, I got some family up in Vermont. Seattle. I tried to get a radio show in Seattle. I'm going to Seattle and Portland and Washington at some point. I have to see those trees, the ocean, orcas. You honestly think they don't get kickbacks and incentives, and they'll probably all get most of their money from state contracts? You're naive. Greg, I'm just telling you what happened here in Massachusetts after we taxed millionaires. Every kid gets free lunch and breakfast at school. There's no more school debt. If you want to get a bachelor's degree and you don't have one, you can go to community college for free. And our millionaire population grew by 35%. So good things happen when you tax the wealthy, and it's just, as you said, it's naive for you to think anything different. Tax wealth, not work. Lisa Thompson, yeah, orcas. I appreciate your view on Charlie Clark. April's flowers. Thank you, April. I appreciate that. Because I want to just take you a little tour around Salem. Because maybe later tonight, I want to sit down and actually get into it, because it's so weird to me that all the people on the right are like, you better be respectful or we'll send the military or we'll start a war with you. And it's like, guys, that's so stupid. You've never been respectful for any deaths in America that were, whether it was black people, leftists, I mean, just go down the list, any marginalized people, in fact, they were all salivating for it to be some marginalized group so they could, abuse their power. And it's so ridiculous that these people are also the free speech warriors. So it's like, if you're a free speech warrior, and I'm saying Charlie Kirk advocated, literally advocated for his ironic death, like, why are you upset? I'm just saying what he believed in. It's not my thoughts. I'm trying to fight against that shit. I'm the one saying that shouldn't be happening. But if we're gonna joke about it, make fun of it, you free speech warriors should fucking tighten your belts a little bit and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or whatever you like to say, because it's absolutely insane that they're the most sensitive. I should have put, that's what I'll do. I'll put my fascist tears mug. I gotta make one of those mugs that say fascist tears, because they're the most sensitive nanny pants, or whatever we call them. Joshua, I'm sentimental, I love all. And that's how I am, man. I'm a big, listen, at the end of the day, I'm fighting because there are kids in our country. When I read about kids in our country going hungry, or kids with disabilities not getting wheelchairs because AI denied their claim when a doctor said, like, that kills me, man. That really, like, it hurts me so bad when I think about kids in this country, whether because where they were born or their parents can't move up in society or couldn't afford to get a college education or whatever it is. It's like, we have enough money. There's going to be trillionaires. We have billionaires. Like, we have enough money to make sure, if we tax them, to make sure there are social safety nets, that none of these kids have to go hungry. And then there's like people like Charlie Kirk who think the argument is like for public execution. It's just so crazy to me. I'm like, that's not even the fucking topic, bro. And it shouldn't be. And he's baited all these college kids, which that's why he goes to colleges. Impressionable minds, so he can, and it's like, it's so stupid. You're going to need another mug because the tears, yeah, that's it. We'll sell a fascist tear mug, and it will come with a little mug with it because it will overflow. And the other one we'll call the overflow mug. That's a great idea, Timothy. Thank you. All right, guys. People who are making jokes about alligator, yeah, long bun. People who are just making jokes about alligators eating immigrants are distraught today, but not anymore. I don't know if you've seen Donald Trump. He already doesn't give a fuck about Charlie and is talking about the White House when asked, how are you holding up? And we all know that when you're really broken up about something, you immediately are distracted by your new ballroom. So again, I hope this is a wake-up call for those people who think it's like a real cause. I said this on the day he got, that he was just a mouthpiece for billionaires. That's it. The NRA paid him to say what he said. He had no policy, did not care. He was a propagandist, state propagandist, fighting for more of a worse status quo than we already have. And they don't care. They don't care. They'll do the fancy show. We'll give him a military funeral, even though he's a podcaster, dropout loser. And then they'll move on like nothing happened. They'll find the next one and prop him up, and they do not care, And what we're fighting for is a community where people are cared about, He literally said, this is the craziest thing to me. I'm like, what kind of values are these? Seriously. And I always think of people's kids, but I'm like, who would ever tell their kids this? You're gonna be a gross human. I can't stand the word empathy. It's a made up new age term, does a lot of damage. Well, in his honor, have no empathy for him, make a shitload of fun of him. Like, I don't know what else to say, because that's what he wanted, I don't watch any lamestream media, you dummy. Mike Jam, moron. Coming here saying stupid stuff, we just call you stupid. All right, guys. So you know nothing about... Tommy, I've been making fun of Charlie probably longer than you've been born, buddy. Okay? Why do you think South Park mocked him? It wasn't in honor of him, you demi. You nanny pants, as some people are saying. Oh, I love it. The people go, amazing, you're not at work? Nah, bitch. Are you? Adam, are you at work? Sucker. You working for your boss? I bet your boss came down and pat you on the head and said, good boy, Adam, good boy. You're gonna have you work the weekend, all right? Did you get the TPS reports in? I love these people that think defining themselves by how much they work, how much they're at work. Your kids are probably thankful you're at work right now. But it's so funny. So funny. I have a job. I'm the toughest man in the world. I had a job when I was 12. You ain't proving nothing, you fucking nanny pants. I love it. And that's, by the way, you know why they're saying that, right? Is because I'm putting up news stories about Charlie Kirk and the things he advocated for, that he advocated for what happened to him. And this is their reaction. They're like, oh, you don't have a job. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not a podcaster who debates college kids? You want me to go downtown Salem and be like, hey, are you under 21? Let me debate you. Let me dunk on you, bro. Even though he got dunked on a ton. Like, you guys understand this, right? You understand, you worship the dude who went to colleges to debate freshmen so he could dunk on them and edit out all the times where he got called out because he's a puss. And that is the definition of being a loser. And that's how he spent his life. Ooh. Oh wait, I gotta move. Sorry, I don't want to get copyrighted. All right, guys. Joshua, I'm crippled, not working, sucks. I'm alone all day. I hate it. And Joshua, this is why I talk about this stuff, because at the end of the day, people who maybe have disabilities are in the house. They shouldn't be isolated from the world. They shouldn't have to worry about paying for internet access, number one. They shouldn't have to worry about paying for prescriptions, number two. And they shouldn't have to worry about, cost of living and stuff, because we have billionaires in this country. So we have enough money. They're hoarding it all. And if we tax them to appropriate it in the correct ways, people who have a tougher time with, like, that's the other thing for you people who don't know what it's like to live with a disability or love someone who has a disability, just thank your fucking lucky stars, okay? A lot of you ain't grateful enough. That's what it is. And a lot of you talk like you've never lived outside your mother's house, Adam Hester. That's what I'm talking about. You sound like Joe Rogan, who you see a satire bit on the news and you're like, man, society, what is it coming to? I saw this thing, and then his name, what is this dude, Cameron? And I don't know, his producer's like, oh, Joe, there's a joke. It says satire on the thing. It's a comedy TikTok. And he's like, oh man, why does it lie? Like, that's what you sound like. You're like, I see things on the web that make me think this, and I've never lived outside of my little bubble. But all right, guys, CJ, thank you for being in here. Joshua, I know you've been here quite a few times. Thank you. I'm gonna try to go live later. I gotta go finish some errands. My parking meter's up, and I gotta go do some stuff. So much love, spread love, guys. I know some people out there say they don't think empathy's good. I say have empathy. That's what Jesus said. Love your neighbor, spread love. That's the Brooklyn way. That was Jesus' Biggie. Biggie Jesus. Biggie Jesus. And do that, It's so weird to me. Some of these people think it's like cool to be like, I was the meanest motherfucker and then I got murked and that's my legacy. It's like, no one's gonna care when you're gone. Love to you, CJ, Joshua, Solus. Appreciate you, man. We gotta play some Fortnite. I haven't played Fortnite in ages. All right, guys. Respect. Peace.